Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of the Advocacy Connection channel on YouTube. I'm Joe, and here today I'm with my good friend Chris Walsh. What's going on, Chris?
Uh, I'm doing good.
Cool, awesome. So today, after a long hiatus, I apologize for that, guys. Just been doing some research, so today's episode is going to be the history of self-advocacy, how it came to be, and also an advocacy interview, overview rather, and just go into what it is, and then fast forward to present day. So let's get this thing kicked off with the history. So the term self-advocacy actually originated in Sweden around 1960s when adults with disabilities started speaking out, taking control of their own lives, and forming their own clubs, as today it's known as advocacy groups, so to speak. And conferences for these club members were held in 1968, between 1968 and 1970, where participants developed statements about how they want to be treated, and that's how basically the term self advocacy was born. And for thousands of individuals like Chris and myself who live worldwide, self advocacy is basically a term of personal identity that comes with a whole bunch of benefits attached to it. One of those being it focuses on you know power and right to self determination. Furthermore, people who self advocate ultimately have a higher quality of life and also boosted confidence in themselves. And that's how that that basically came to be. That's how self advocacy came to be. These clubs eventually turned into advocacy groups, which led to present day. Groups are being created, meetings are being led, and things like that. And that's how Chris and I learned about present day advocacy, not really so much the history of it. And that's where I did my research all this all this time on what it is, the background of it, and things of that sort. And self advocacy comes with three parts that, for those out there who, like I said, want to learn about it, these are just some of what it really entails, what it really means. So, one is knowing yourself. That's the first major step, is learning everything you can about yourself, your needs, your wants, your disability, your strength, and your challenges that you struggle to overcome, but you somehow overcame them. And the questions that come with those: are you self motivated? What goals are you trying to achieve? Everybody has a certain life goal that they want to reach one day. Like Chris and myself, we have life goals that we want to accomplish, and that's why we have life plan meetings every 6 months to discuss what those goals are, and to implement them into our life plans so those goals can be worked on and those needs can be met. And also, you can also understand know what your rights and responsibilities are, and if you don't, you can always go for help to better understand what your rights and responsibilities are as not only an individual with disabilities, but also a self advocate. And it's all about basically self-discovery, for lack thereof a better term. So moving on to part two is knowing your needs, as we stated earlier, which include identifying your needs, your wants, and ask for help in meeting those needs, whether it be goals, program goals, life goals. That's why with these life plan meetings, you gotta have an agenda. You gotta have a list of what you want, what you need, why you need them. Explain them at your meeting, why you want them done, put them into a goal, and make sure you voice on getting that need or goal met. And once you do identify those needs and wants, you can basically plan, life plan, plan on how to get those needs met and those goals accomplished. And for the third and final one, know how to get what you need. So you've already identified what your strengths and weaknesses are. You know what you want to accomplish and what you need basically to get that to happen, what avenues you need to go down to make that happen, who you have to talk to, who you have to advocate to in order to meet those needs and stuff like that. And those are basically the three areas of self-advocacy or three avenues rather, that you have to go down starting out and just build yourself up to becoming a voice for yourself and your peers as well. And who would know better than that than Chris and I, because he does the Autism Expo every so often, educates people on that, which is a huge spectrum. And he knew what he wanted. He knew that he wanted to do this, so he explored avenues on how to go down that route. And last but not least, self-advocacy at a glance. It's the ability to commute your needs, as we stated early on. People who self-advocate basically are more likely to thrive in school, work, at home, the community, wherever. And it can really, there's no age limit to learn what it is. It can even go from as young as 5 years old to as old as 50 through 70 even. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a person with disabilities. It could be a person who has no disabilities at all. Or it could be someone that has a non-visible disability such as Chris and I. We learned it at not so much a young age, but a little younger than what we are now. And that's where we built up to where we are today with knowledge of, the stuff that we bring to you guys on a weekly basis so you can learn about it yourselves. And it also creates independence for individuals with disabilities to explore their own world, explore the world outside of disabilities even, and kind of strike out on their own, so to speak. And it also empowers people to think of solutions to problems that others might not even think of or haven't really thought of to begin with. So, and to cap this off, self-advocacy has three key elements, which is understanding your needs, knowing what kind of support might help you, and communicating those needs to others. And say, for example, you're a student in high school, grammar school, wherever, and you're struggling with writing or something, but you're in a class that requires taking a lot of notes, how would you go about advocating to get assistance in that note writing process? Chris, you wanna give an example how you would advocate for help on that? Like, say
Well,
you're in a class and where that requires taking a lot of notes, and it may prove difficult for you to keep up or take notes. How would you advocate or communicate rather to get the help you need for that specific thing?
well, first I would talk to the teacher saying I can't keep up, so I'm gonna I'm gonna do my best to keep up. I'm not promising that I'm gonna get every note down, so can you please give me a copy of those notes so I can so I so I have them so I can uh, practice for a test or something. Or I
Right.
would also ask to go to speech and everything else to get more help or a special education class.
Right, exactly. And if, you know, the teacher asking the teacher for help doesn't quite work out, you could always go to a counselor or you could always go to some other adult that will help you. There's never a reason to be afraid to ask for help
Oh,
or to advocate for what you want. There's no need to wonder if you should do this, what would the outcome be? So if Chris and I wanted something done, we advocate or communicate for that specific kind of thing. And we get the assistance we want to make that thing happen. Hence, in the end, it got done, that goal got met, and that need basically got accomplished. And that's what, just to sum up everything of what
oh,
advocacy is.
oh my word! I won't get over wrestling. I the rule was I couldn't do any contact sports because I had epilepsy. Well, we talked to a Pee Wee wrestling coach, explained everything. He didn't mind one bit that I had epilepsy, and I wrestled Pee Wee. And then come high school, I was like, Coach Witt, I could, the rule is no contact sports for epilepsy, but is there, but believe in myself and can I still wrestle? He's like, I don't see why not. I was like, well, I did Pee Wee wrestling and Rich Eggleston didn't mind one bit that I had epilepsy he he went right through it. Well, Coach Witt's like, well, if he can do it, so can I. And you know what? Coach Witt is the one that got the seizures. I never had a seizure with Coach Eggleston. Coach Witt got the seizures and he made it totally through.
There you go. So basically, in the end, you advocated to kind of move up in that,
Oh,
and you had the help of coaches and everything else.
oh, I did, and I wrestled for 13 years in a row.
There you go. And congratulations, Chris, on that. And yeah, that's all. That's all the time we have today for this episode. So stay tuned for that. That will be uploaded later on today. And keep an eye out for next Tuesday's stream. And like always, I'm Joe.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the Advocacy Connection channel. Be well, stay safe, and we will see you next week. Take care.